We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we record this podcast.
Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
Hey green beans! Today's episode is going to get bloody, and not just because it's nearly spooky season. Oh no, we are talking about how to have a low waste and low fuss period. I have a stat-packed Google Doc in front of me, and I am far too excited about this. But before we get into that, hey Michaela, what brings you joy this week?
Look, I think the one thing, and I know I talk about her all the time, but it's definitely my morning snuggles with Kit Kat.
Aww.
I've been getting up at a reasonable time and doing a morning meditation, and I've been in the lounge room, and she sits with me every morning, and now she knows, like this morning I woke up late and she was meowing, I mean, like, excuse me, get up. So I went upstairs, so I think that's bringing me some calm and some joy this week.
That is so cute. Yeah. Oh my goodness. How long do you meditate for?
It's just a short one, like depending on what time I wake up. Like, say, for example, this morning I didn't give myself enough time, so it's just a 5-minute thing. But I've done a couple of 10 minutes, and yeah, depends. If I get up early enough, and then I can sit down and have breakfast.
That's so cute. Kitty Cat just joins you for it.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah. And then I tuck her up in a blanket whilst I get ready in the morning. And
my goodness.
Every time I walk past her, I'm like, no. So cute.
I love how obsessed you are.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. Every episode, I'm like, I somehow managed to bring my cat into the conversation.
Yeah, look, like, I want this to be a weekly, however, weekly, bi-weekly thing. Talk about what brings us joy, but some of the weeks it can't be your cat.
Oh, no. But
it can be your cat and something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to think.
That's fine. The cat's good for now. Kitty Cat.
Okay.
Week
Cat's
1.
good for like 4 weeks, right?
Yeah, sure. That's fine. I'll allow it.
I'm sure I'll have something. Don't worry. What about you? What brings you joy this week?
Well, I can be very obvious and say I am just really excited about the conscious community launching the first week of October and the open week being next week. And today I especially have joy because a few things have been ironed out. But in the back of my mind, something causing me a lot of stress that therefore brings me joy when it works. My phone has not been charging. It's out in the other room right now because I just managed to like wrangle the charger so it is actually charging. And it brings me joy when it charges. Yeah. My goodness, living like I used to think the most important thing about a phone was a camera. No. It's that it works.
Yes, exactly.
It's that it charges.
Is it the phone or is it the charger? You know, when you used to have like your iPod and your headphones, you had to like wrap around sometimes to make them work or like press it in a certain way.
Yeah, I think it is the phone because I've tried a few cables. Unfortunately, it's the harder one to fix. And I did try watching a YouTube video that was like 5 ways to make your phone charge again. And literally one of the 5 ways was, your phone's probably buggered. You should see a specialist. It was like, that was about joy. And now I'm like, my fucking phone. So I'm going to get into talking about some stats.
I'm sorry. Yeah. All right.
I did this to myself.
Yeah.
So periods are rubbish, but I'm weirdly fascinated by them. Like, if nothing else, there's a weird and wonderful bond wherein which we know that if someone needs a pad or a tampon, you can ask a stranger in the bathroom. It's totally acceptable. I love that for us. We're all bonded.
So true.
In the bathroom. But I want to know if you have any period stories to share. Have you ever been caught off guard?
I think I've been pretty lucky. I'm just trying to think now, like, if I've had any bad stories.
How would you deal with it at school? Like, would you always just go in, like, a lunch break, or would you have to sneak out with, like, a tampon up your sleeve?
No, so in high school, I was a pad gal. And looking back now, I'm like, you're an idiot. Tampons would have been so much better. Like, I mean, of course, there's all these products now which would have been even better. But I think I was just too, like, so
scared.
I was a pad gal. And I used to, like, double undie because I'd be scared that it would go through. And of course, you have the moment, you know, you turn around to your friend and you're trying to look at your dress and you're like to your friend, hey, is there anything? And they're like, no, you good. So it's like we all knew, but I still used to shove the pad up my sleeve and go to the toilet. So nobody knew that I actually had it. But then when you're in the toilet and you hear the like everyone knows what you're doing. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. But I don't think I actually had any bad stories or anything like that. Like thinking now, I think I'm pretty blessed.
Yeah, good for you. I've never been caught out and like I don't know, exposed. Like there wasn't any stain that I think anyone could see except once. Both my stories are actually in university. So good for me that it wasn't school, I guess. But the first time I was in the library and I was wearing like light blue jeans and I feel like I just like had that feeling, you know? And I was like, the current line of defense is failing. And so like I managed to have a jumper with me at the time, wrapped it around my waist, and then went to the bathroom, was like, yep, that went through. And there was like a bloody stain on my jeans. Yeah. But I think I had sports leggings with me that I could change into that were black. So I was like, well, I don't have any extra pads or tampons here right now, but I can change into these and I can waddle my ass home.
Yep.
And do my studying there. And the second time I was at the gym, again, in black, working out with my friend, did a squat, and then felt this like thump, like something like, and I knew like my underwear's gone, my leggings are gone. I turned to my friend and was like, you can wait here. Yeah. I need to go to the shop right now. And I just like walked across the road because this gym was luckily in the middle of town. So I could cross the street, buy underwear, go next door, buy tampons, pads, everything I needed to keep surviving, and then go back to the gym. It's just like, what just happened?
So traumatic.
I wish I could explain to a boy, like, you know, when you just feel it, you know it's happening.
Yeah, you just know straight away.
Even if there aren't signs.
Like, oh, there it is.
Yes. Which I will get into right now. So here are some very fun period stats for you. So the average menstrual cycle is 24 to 38 days, and the typical period lasts for 4 to 8 days. I don't know where I am in the middle of that. Probably the longer end of it, to be honest.
I think so too.
I think if it was really 4 days, my life would be so different. Oh my gosh. In fact, when I was a kid, so I must have learned in school a period is 4 days, and I thought that meant once a week.
Oh no.
Like it was just going to neatly be like 4 times a month, like every Monday or every Sunday.
Oh, bless.
And when it finally happened, I'm like, oh, all in one go? Really?
Yeah, what?
That's a lot.
That is so funny. But that's the thing though. I feel like the education we get is so subpar to what we should be getting. And it makes it feel like such a topic that you can't talk about. But you should be able to talk about it with your friends. And I'm so grateful that it is changing now. Like there's so much more great products. There's so much more awareness, even like marketing campaigns on trying to normalize the fact that yes, girls get periods.
Yeah, it's part of everyday life for so many people, for all the menstruators out there. Anyway, there it is. So, yes, the typical period lasts for 4 to 8 days. So awesome of us to get through one stat. Now,
sounds
in addition
very green girls.
In addition to bleeding, 90% of people who menstruate say they experience various other symptoms, food cravings being a really common one. In fact, a study in America found that almost half of menstruators crave chocolate at the start of their period. High five to all of you because, yes. More than half of menstruating people experience some pain around their period. In fact, between 32 and 40% of those surveyed said they experienced pain so severe that they had to miss school or work. And something I really want to touch on is that 1 in 10 are affected by endometriosis. Do you know much about this already?
Yeah, I've actually got a few friends who do suffer from it.
Yeah, same here. Like, I guess 1 in 10 means it is actually pretty common, but
yeah,
the way I first found out about it was like, oh yeah, it's not common at all. It's really rare. But I think I've got 3 friends that have endometriosis.
I have 3 friends too. What the heck?
Yeah, so it's like, it's that common, and your friends probably relate to the exact same thing these people do, where it took years for them to get diagnosed. In fact, Endometriosis Australia, I think, says 6.5 years is the average time it is to get a diagnosis.
Yeah. I remember them, like even in high school, having trouble and not knowing what it was, and then finally, when they got diagnosed, and the first friend who told me what it was and what she had it, I was like, oh, what the heck is this? Like, I've never heard of this before.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh wow, 3 people I know have the same issue. Like, that's not rare.
Yeah, or the last person, like the most recent person who found out, she's in her early 30s, I think. And she's just found out, and I think just had surgery. And it's like such a breath out to finally know what the cause is and to therefore be treated. But there isn't really treatment. It can't be fixed. It's just 1 in 10 people getting through each month with endometriosis. And
just having to live like everything's normal.
Yeah. So one of my friends, the first person, like kind of how I found out about endometriosis, she was misdiagnosed for years as just having IBS, like irritable bowel syndrome. And so anytime she experienced pain, not to be like, doctors, you suck, but they were like, oh, that's just the IBS and would treat that. And I don't know if she even ended up having that, but there was one day where her pain was so severe. And this was like 10 years ago, this story, by the way, so my facts might not be exactly straight, but so severe, she went to the doctors or went to the hospital even, and there was a visiting doctor, like someone that wasn't always in the practice, who was in that day, and he was like, okay, from your level of pain, it sounds like your appendix is about to burst, but we're going to do an ultrasound and check things out. And so I don't know if she was under or not when they did the ultrasound, but they noticed that they couldn't see her ovaries. And so she went into the operating room. Her appendix was totally fine. And the reason they couldn't see her ovaries is they were so covered in cysts that you could not see them. She had been suffering with it for so long that the growths that endometriosis can cause were just everywhere. And so I think she had to have a lot of surgery to get over that. She was told, I think 40% of people with endometriosis can't have children. But 10 years on, in fact, I think only 3 years on from that, she actually became a mother. So it didn't hold her back. She still has to live with a lot of pain.
Of course, yeah.
But it didn't stop her there, and I'm thrilled for her in that respect. But so frustrating that it was misdiagnosed for so long.
Definitely. And that's a hard thing. I feel like a lot of things are kind of just brushed off. Like, sometimes, I mean, this is my own personal opinion and my own personal experience. Like, don't come for me, but
let it out.
Like, I'm currently suffering from what I can only assume is food intolerances. But I've been to the doctor, I've had scans, I've had blood tests, and it was just like, you're fine, you're constipated. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I go to the toilet very regularly. Like, that's not it. And
Excuse me.
I've just left it for like months, and I've been keeping track of what I'm eating by myself. And now I've got another appointment with a new doctor. And it's like, we shouldn't have to go through all of this trouble when we know our bodies and we know that something is wrong and something is telling us, like, we're smart. Something is telling us, hey, wait a minute, something's not right.
Yeah,
so
something's
to
up.
be just brushed off is, grinds my gears.
In your respect, are you thinking of going to like a dietitian or a nutritionist?
Yeah, I think I'll have to, because it's like, I've never had any food problems before, and it's like really bad bloating, and I've done, only my Dr. Google research, which is just makes things worse. So I need to go to a new doctor, get a second opinion, and possibly get a referral, go see a nutritionist or dietitian or something.
Yeah, cool. Keep me posted. How annoying. Yeah, I mean, my mum suffers from literally phantom pains all the time. Like, I believe most pain began from like giving birth, and then like from 10 years ago she experienced like awful headaches, and just pain is everywhere, it seems like, and she does not know what to do about it. But
then we end up being like, okay, I'll just deal with it. Which is so not the case. Like, that's not fair.
It shouldn't be. And one of the things about endo, I've heard people refer to endometriosis as endo, and I keep screwing up how I say it. So endo is how we're sticking with it from now on.
Love it.
I've heard of so many people don't even check it out because
they think it's
periods
normal.
are painful.
Mhm.
And if you're just told, yeah, it's normal to experience pain, and you've only experienced one level of pain, you can just assume that that's normal.
Yeah, you can't compare it.
Yeah, and people's pain thresholds are so different. Like, look at people getting tattoos and like the differences in how people
Yes.
react.
Yeah.
But pain is not the only symptom. I'd like to go over them in case anyone is out there thinking about this. The earlier you can get it, the better. So the most common symptoms are fatigue, pain that stops you on or around your period, pain on or around ovulation, pain during sex, pain during bowel movements, pain when you urinate, pain in your pelvic region, lower back or legs, having trouble holding your bladder or having to go to the bathroom a lot, and heavy or irregular bleeding. And you can get a lot more information from endometriosisaustralia.org. And some fun facts. Celebrities with endo. Looked this up.
Okay, I was like, are they fun? And then you hit me with celebrities. I'm like, okay.
Woo! Getting a bit gossip mag here. Amy Schumer, Chrissy Teigen, Whoopi Goldberg, Daisy Ridley, Emma Bunton, Baby Spice. They all have endometriosis. And Susan Sarandon.
Oh, Susan Sarandon. Yeah.
Sarandon. There we go. I hadn't said her name out loud, so thank you.
Yeah, that's all right.
I recognized her, but I didn't realize she was Louise from Thelma and Louise.
She's got a very recognizable face once you know her.
Yeah. I'm like, I feel like I've seen you in more things.
Yeah, you're like, oh, what?
Yeah. Well, she was only diagnosed when she was 40.
Oh, and my gosh.
Yeah, it literally just said she thought that pain was normal. She'd had no idea how abnormal it was. And so, yeah, please, if you're out there suffering, especially during your periods, check it out. Your level of pain may not be normal.
No, definitely.
Oh, I feel like there was someone else, but I have not written them down. Do you know the woman Kayla something? She's got an app called Sweat.
Kayla, it seems.
There we go. Yeah. She also has endometriosis.
Oh, wow. See, there's like so many people.
Yeah, it's, one in 10.
Yeah, 1 in 10.
In fact, I think Endometriosis Australia says 1 in 9.
Yeah, there you go.
It's really, really common, and I would not be surprised if it's more common simply because there's a lot of people out there that are just like, yeah, I experience pain.
That was normal, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, when you've got nothing to compare it to and you're just told that, yes, periods are painful, then how are you to know?
Yeah, like I crave sweets and I bleed and it's painful, duh.
Yeah, I thought that was normal. Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm going to do my last fun little stat. I looked onto a website called Clue. It's a menstrual tracking app, and they have a list of the 5,000 euphemisms for periods.
5,000?
Yeah, and here are all of them.
Oh, yeah. This is now what Gringos is.
We're just going to go over 100 of these every week.
Oh my gosh.
No, I picked my 4 favorite, which were Strawberry Week, VOO, VOO, which stands for vaginally out of order, cooking black pudding.
Ew! So bad. Oh
no. And my personal favorite, because what the fuck? The small little elves.
What? Who just goes, what, are these people talking to their friends and being like, oh man, no, I can't come over. The small little elves are out and about.
I imagine so, and clearly to them that makes total sense.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, actually, just came back into my brain. I don't know. I would have been very fresh on my period, very new to the whole period world. Just brought back memories of I think I've been putting it away at the back of my brain. That's the word, yeah.
Get it all out, honey.
Yep. And my friend lived down the road and she had a pool. They had a new pool, really exciting. And she's like, you should come over. And me being me, very new into the period world, was like, oh no, I have that time of the... And I didn't say that time of the month. I said something completely friggin' wrong. And she was like, what? And I was like, oh, that time. And I couldn't figure it out. And in the end, I just had to be like, I have my period. I was so embarrassed.
You were
So I
so
shouldn't
new.
be
You didn't know
embarrassed. No, I didn't know what it was. I could have just said strawberry week. Sorry, girl.
You could
Or
have.
can't come over. I'm cooking black pudding.
Just watch them go, gross, but I get it.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, dear.
gotcha.
Yeah, so good.
Cooking black pudding, yeah.
Mm.
I like vu. Yeah, these were all in like French, Italian, Chinese, Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
All the different languages. So
think I
maybe
wanna
it
have a
sounds
look at
different.
that.
Yeah, I'll link it up after
Please.
this. I'm like, the small little elves.
Yes.
What?
I don't.
Like,
I'm not sure.
my
Not sure.
one guess is like, do elves wear red hats, and does that have anything to do with it? That's.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I am grasping at really short straws here.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's how I'll refer to it from now on.
Okay. Yes.
So the small little elves are in town, and they're wreaking fucking havoc everywhere.
Yep.
Let's get on to the period products, the reason that we're here
Okay.
today. And so, according to Bustle, menstruators experience around 450 periods, and they go through 11,000 tampons and pads in their lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Each of these tampons and pads come with a plastic wrapper, and with more than 12 million females in Australia alone, that adds up really fast.
And what about in America where they have the applicators?
Wait, is that not common here?
No,
That's
we
common
don't
in the
have
UK.
applicators. Really?
Ever?
Have you used? No, I've never ever seen a tampon with an applicator. It's just you just up there
Yeah.
with your hand.
Yeah.
That's it. Use your finger.
England just had both. Like, it was
Right.
more budget friendly to get it with either a like card applicator, which
Mhm.
was a bit like rubby, or
Yeah,
like a
got paper cuts in your
satin
insides.
soft plasticky one.
Oh,
Yeah, you could
crazy.
budget to luxury, all for your
Mm.
vu.
That's
So
crazy.
there was a stat I saw from London
Mhm.
back in 2018. So, dear London, I hope this improved. But it was from the BBC News. It says every day, Thames Water removes 30 tons of wet wipes and sanitary towels, which congeal to form fatbergs and clog up sewer systems. The
That's
end.
disgusting.
Fatbergs. Congeal.
Ew.
Such great words. Really glad they're on the podcast.
They're horrible words.
I could say black pudding again if you like.
No, I'm really good. I'm really good with that one. Thanks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, and there are 1.5 billion sanitary products that get wrongfully flushed down our loos. They go straight into our beautiful oceans. And if not there, they end up in landfill. So there is a whole lot of mess associated
or even
with the little elves coming.
Yes. Even septic systems, like septic tanks.
Yeah.
You can't, I mean, you shouldn't be flushing stuff anyway, but that makes it real bad.
Yeah, there are toilets out there where you should not flush the toilet paper. I'm like,
yeah,
what?
Exactly right.
Use the bin, please.
Yeah, I wonder if it's something
please.
to do with some people don't have bins. Like,
True.
I remember going to my friend's place, it's not recent, like 5 years ago, and I went to their downstairs toilet, and her sister lived like off there was a little area with like a bedroom and bathroom and stuff. Yeah. And I was like in there and I'm like, oh my gosh, they don't have a bin in here. And I'm like, what do I do? Yeah. So I like wrapped it up and I kind of stood there for a minute being like, and then I went out and I was holding it like hidden in my hand, but it was all girls. And I was like, I need a bin. And she was like, the sister was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about it. Like, I use a menstrual cup, so I don't need a bin. And I was like, what the is a menstrual cup? And that was my first introduction to it. So, like, some people don't have
honey,
bins.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, maybe then that's why, like, things get flushed because people panic or they're embarrassed or they just don't know any better. So they're just like, flush.
I mean, 5 years ago, I would have been in the exact same boat. Like,
I think it was around 5 years.
Yeah, because I think it took me a long time to go into.
It did, me too.
Reusable period products. It's like, it's just a new change and it's something that is already annoying.
Yeah.
Like, why do I want to try something else?
Exactly.
But luckily, both of us have now.
Yes, we'll get to that later though.
Yeah, we'll have a few more tangents before that. Oh, no, we won't. Hey.
Oh, we're right there.
We're here. Hey, we made it.
Look at that. If I hadn't have said anything, that would have been such a beautiful segue.
I would cut it out, but I like that. Here we are, live on the podcast, just being awkward as all hell.
Yeah, what's you?
So, yeah, there's a few different products out there, and I will even throw in a special one at the end, which is actually still tampons and pads from a very specific, wonderful company, because I know there are people out there who cannot use specific products for whatever reason. So it's good to address the bog standard tampons and pads and the better ways that you can use them.
For sure.
So I've broken it down into the two categories being exterior and interior.
Makes sense.
Thank you. In exterior being reusable pads and period underwear, and interior menstrual cup. Wow. And interior being menstrual cups and discs. And I have tried all of them. I assume you have not tried a disc, have you?
No, I was just about to ask you. Please enlighten me on a disc.
A disc, well, very similar to the cup, but wider and more shallow.
Okay.
And so it sits inside you on top of your like pelvic bone instead of just kind of up there as a cup. Yeah. Up there. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. We get it from the gestures that you can see on the podcast.
You guys can't see the gestures, but yes.
If you're watching on YouTube, you're like, yeah, I get it. You stop doing that hand movement.
Yeah, stop. It's really awkward.
Yeah. But I've been really enjoying the disc. Mine's from a company called Hello, which is a Kiwi company, New Zealand company. They make cups and discs. Okay. And I supported their like Kickstarter campaign for the disc. And the disc, I think, was actually around before cups were.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, because I've heard of someone saying like, yeah, my mum's been using that for donkey's years. I was like, well, it's news to me.
Yeah, news to me too.
No, they're friggin' brilliant. But then your friend was using a cup 5 years ago, and we're like, well, that's bizarre.
Yeah, true. But she works in a lab where they make babies. What is that called?
All I can think is test tube baby. That's not the right.
Why can't I think of this?
IVF?
Thank you. What the hell? Yeah. So she works in that. So I think she was quite across sort of like technology and the female bod.
Yeah, so menstrual cups and discs. And I suppose I experienced with both like pads and cups at the same time. What about you?
Yeah, I started on pads, like I said before, and then went to tampons, and then I sort of knew about the cup, but I was a bit apprehensive. I don't know. It might have been like the price or just something new. But when you think about it, like $50 or something for a cup as opposed to buying however many tampons kind of worked out. And then, I used it the first time and was like, game changer. It never went back. Like, I don't remember the last time I used a pad or a tampon.
I actually have because I've been like stuck in weird situations and I've just still had them in the house.
Oh, I still have an emergency tampon and pad in my bag that I carry with me everywhere, but like I should probably throw that out because that's probably really old, right?
As long as it's in the liner, I'm sure it's fine.
It's sealed, yeah.
And you might be that person in the toilet.
I can give it to a friend.
Hey,
yes.
I'm in need. And you're like, yes,
True.
I've got you. Yeah, I think I carried a pad and a tampon around for a while, either for myself or in case someone else was in need. Because you cannot really share a cup. That's one of the cons.
Definitely not.
So I've got a couple of pros and cons across everything. And I think I went straight to the cup, but then I bought like Hanapad, the reusable pads.
Yeah, I haven't tried those.
Pretty good. Honestly, the biggest con is because it's not like it's got a sticky thing on the other side that like sticks to your underwear. They can like shift around.
Yeah.
That
that's
is
why
the
I
only
think
downside.
I like the period underwear because they're just one.
Yeah, I like the
thing.
ease of that. Reusable pads and period underwear, the best pros that I find, they're fairly easy to change. So like you just take a bag with you for all the used ones. They're way thinner and comfier than you would think they are.
Yeah. And you can get different I guess weights is not the right word, but you can get, something for
absorption
absorbent,
levels?
right? Yeah, you know what I meant.
Yeah.
So you can get different ones, for like lighter days or as a backup, or you can get something that is gonna, take you through the thick of it.
Yes, and I love that you can get like the ones which are industrial strength that like have the pad that like goes all the way around.
Yeah,
it's like you can sleep in these and you
front
are fine.
To back.
Yeah. Everywhere you could get blood, we've got you.
You're good.
I was like, love that. Thank you. 3 pairs. And they're pretty easy to clean.
Mm.
I wash mine either in the sink
Mm-hmm.
or in the shower with me in the morning. Like I'll just
Mm.
take it in there with me, and then
Yep.
after that like first wash, then I put it in the washing machine.
Yeah, yep. I'm a shower gal too.
Yes, it's just easy. And same thing goes with the cup. Like you can just wash it while you're in the shower, and the great thing about the cup is how often you do or don't need to change it.
Yeah.
It means like when you wake up in the morning, you just change it as part of your routine. It feels like you don't really have to take time out of your day.
Agreed.
So the cons to the reusable pads and period underwear, taking time to clean them after use. I'm not going to lie. There are definitely some stains because I just waited too long. Like you cannot avoid stains. That's another con. Like you just cannot, but I don't care about that so much. But I've definitely been too lazy.
Yeah.
Way too lazy and like left it there for too long. And now it's like a bit like I might have to replace them sooner because I haven't taken the proper care of them. But at least I think with Hanapad, it's all natural. And apart from like the little plastic popper, I think it's therefore compostable.
Oh, that's good.
And so, yeah, if you don't clean them properly, they can become like rigid and like the stains are almost impossible to avoid. But like I said, I don't care about the stains too much.
Yeah, mine are all black, so I can't really, I mean, there's probably
good.
stains.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just follow the instructions. It's like rinse until, the water's clear or whatever and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. What you can't see can't hurt you.
It's fine. Yeah, I've got the Love Luna ones.
Yeah, I have some of them too.
Yeah, I really like them. They're like really soft as well. And they're cheaper than Hanapad.
Yes, actually. 2 things. Yes. I don't know what my brain's going to take me to first.
Awesome.
This one. Okay, so my friend, she messaged us. It would have been back when we were doing this original recording, and she was asking all of our friends about what products they use, and she actually made a spreadsheet of all the different period products, and I am going to message her after this and ask for that spreadsheet so we can share it with you guys because it's great.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's so good. Just like, boop, memory. So bless her, bless Jess, thank you.
Thanks, Jess. Yes. I love you and I haven't met you yet. When this comes out, you'll know it because I'll have told you in person.
Yep.
Oh, like, Jess, you're famous.
Yay, Jess.
Yay, Jess. Yes. Where was I? Oh, you had a second thing.
Oh, yes. I was just, when you talk about Love Luna, I just had a memory of, it's not Love Luna that was my memory, but you triggered me. The first pair of period underwear that I got was actually a pair of Moddy Body. And it was from Jake's mum. And it was like, she's so cute. She does like Christmas stockings for us. And like I'm included. So I get a little stocking. And it would have been a couple years ago, maybe like 3 years ago now. And I pulled out this like underwear and she kind of laughed and was like, oh, it's a bit weird. But I saw them and I thought, I got Jake's sister one as well. And I thought it'd be really good. And I was like, oh, okay, well, thanks. Like, that's cool. She knows that I'm into, sustainability and like less waste and stuff. And I was like, oh, I've never heard of this before. Like my favorite pair now. I'm like, they're great. So thanks, Jake's mum. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Jake's mum.
You introduced me into the period underwear.
Yeah, I'll say that like the underwear is my preference a lot of the time. I just have that trust that it's not going to slip
and slide.
Yeah. Go about its business away from where it should be. Yeah,
well, that's a good segue back into the other cons.
Yes. The biggest con, two last cons for you. So like a pad, you're a lot more aware of your period. Like it's not kept neatly inside. It's gonna do its thing. It means like you might feel all kinds of ways, which if you're not comfortable with, of course you might be more inclined with the next options we have. But the biggest con I'd say is that you need to get quite a few of them to get you through your period.
Yeah, exactly right. You can't just have 2 pairs. You've got to have enough to get you through the possible 4 to 8 days, plus maybe a couple extras if you have an oops.
Absolutely. Like so many people will have spotting and that sort of thing. And you don't want to assume. No. Like you don't go from one day to then just not.
Nothing. And you think you're good and then surprise.
Exactly. And you need to be ready for that. So it's like you will always have like at least a day at the end where it's totally clean. But you're like, but
I'm still going to wear these
This
just
is
to be
still
sure.
this
Yep.
is still necessary.
Definitely.
Yeah, so you need quite a few to get through. So even if they're like $11, $19 each, you're gonna buy like quite a few pairs to get you through.
Yeah.
But once you've done it, once you've invested, and I'm pretty
Mm.
sure so many brands know that, and therefore will do like a starter pack or something
Bundles.
of like 5,
Yeah.
7, 10 to get you
Yeah.
through. And that will include heaps of different sizes so that whatever your
Yeah.
flow is, you can stick with that.
And the other thing too, if you're not sure that they're for you, you know, you can buy 1 or 2 pairs and try them out, like
Yes.
amongst your
very true.
other products. Even
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, I'll wear a cup, but it's on a day, you know, where I'm like, oh, I'll wear a light pair of underwear as well, like period underwear, just as a peace of mind. Or you think your period's coming and you're not sure, and you're like, ooh, I'll just pop these on. Like that's caught me a few times. And
Oh, yeah.
being in the job that I'm in, you know, sometimes you're at a customer's house or you're not sure when your next toilet break's going to be. They can save you.
Yes.
So yeah, you don't
Come
have
prepared.
to buy a whole lot to get you through straight away. Just try a couple first and see if it's something you like. Maybe you can try a different product as well, because you don't want to be spending all your hard-earned money on 8-9 pairs and then be like, actually, I don't like these.
Yeah, true. And you definitely can't return these products.
No, and I don't think you can really give them to a friend.
Probably not. If it's new, sure. But
yeah.
ain't no charity shop accepting them.
Oh no.
That receipt is worth nothing.
Correct.
Yes, you're very right. Definitely experiment if you're not sure. But if you did like pads before, then this is probably
You'll like
right
these
up
for
your
sure.
street.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I started on pads as well. But my goodness, the tsunami, like the war zone that would rage inside my 15-year-old body, I had to get used to tampons pretty quick.
Yeah, fair, valid.
So the menstrual cup was something I was really scared to try, but definitely something that I then ended up loving. Are you in the same boat, or are you more pad girl?
Absolutely.
Really? It brought you over?
Oh, you did. Yeah. As soon as I had my first period with a cup, I was like super nervous. First go, amazing, because I've heard stories of people being like they're not quite sitting right, but if it's in right, you shouldn't feel it.
Yeah.
So my first go straight, I was like, sweet, this is great. And then that whole period, I felt like I didn't even have my period. Like, you know, change it in the shower. Gosh. I haven't used tampons since. I haven't used pads since. I've got period underwear and the cup, and that's it. So
Yay!
Would definitely recommend you guys give it a go. It's seriously a game changer.
Yeah. So you sound very, very pro cup.
Absolutely.
I'm so happy for you.
I've said to my sisters, I've said to my friends, like I think it was probably after the first time, my first period with it, I was like, you guys, if you haven't tried this, like you need to get on it. Do it. And they were all like, okay. But I think some of them now have them. So
oh my gosh.
Slowly but surely.
Arbonne repping and like, hey hun,
I know, guys, give me a discount code.
They are like, they're expensive. That's probably the largest con. It is $50, not like $11 for a pad or like $7 for like a pack of tampons. But you do make your money back, honestly.
Oh, definitely.
So the pros, I feel like you're going to be like, hallelujah, yes, to all of these. It can feel like you aren't wearing anything and you don't feel insecure.
Most like, definitely, 110%.
Yeah, if you don't have other symptoms, then it's just you're going about your day. It's great. Another pro, you can wash it in the shower. Love that.
Yep.
In fact, I feel way cleaner using a cup because I'll take it out and like properly be washing myself and washing the cup, not just going straight from tampon out to tampon in.
Yeah.
And like if anything had dripped or whatever, like that's still sitting there. I haven't changed my underwear, whereas this time like I'm thoroughly clean.
Yeah, definitely. That's
and
one
just
thing.
Feel way more hygienic.
Yeah, for sure. And like my most recent period, like this is so TMI, but like I don't even care anymore. We're talking about periods, like of course.
You've
like,
signed up for this already.
Yeah, you have. You know what's happening. You've had like an hour to be like, no, this is not for me. Might not be an hour in actual time, but in recording time, yes. I was just like, oh, I can't be bothered. Like, I'm just going to wear underwear. And I felt like at the end of the day, like it was probably mid-period, which I don't normally do. I normally use a cup.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I was just like, ugh, I feel gross. Like, it's like a pad, you know? Everything is out and about and on everything it shouldn't be. So at the end of the day, when I had a
Lounging.
shower, I was like, oh my.
Like, what has
Yes.
happened down here?
Yeah, exactly right. So whereas a cup, you don't have that. It's all sort of internal, and you can just boop, tip it out and give it a nice wash, and yeah,
Yeah.
off
You
you
know,
go.
the weirdest pro, not even on my
Mm.
list here,
Mhm.
is I quite like that you can be like, oh, that was it today.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
the cup
Actually,
is this full or this full.
yes. Because
Interesting.
I feel like I've seen so many videos of people being like, to boys being like, oh, guess how much? And they put a tampon in a cup of water, or, you know,
Yeah.
and you think to yourself, oh, I wonder how much I've got today. With
Yeah.
a cup, you can tell. You're just, oh, that was
Exactly
interesting.
this
Like,
amount.
yeah.
I know. I feel like I saw a stat that was like the average period is like 4 tablespoons of blood. I was like,
Mm.
no, like so much more. Like, no, not me.
No. Yeah, well, that's the thing, is everyone can be so different. Like, we're fed all this information which doesn't necessarily relate to us. So it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting to know
And
your
then-
body and know your flow.
Yeah, people talk about it in such like hushed tones, like, oh, I'm on my
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
The small little elves are here.
I'm not saying the other one. Don't say the other one.
You're saying it in your head. I don't have to.
I am. I know.
I'm a big fan of Shark Week. I know people are like, oh, that's so bad.
Yeah.
I quite like that term.
I think Shark Week's funny.
Like Shark Week. I like the painters are in. Yeah.
I haven't heard that one. I like that.
Maybe that's from good old Blighty. The painters are in, and like Auntie Flo is coming to town.
Oh yeah, Auntie Flo, I know.
Good old
Yeah,
Auntie
and
Flo.
of course the rags, which I feel
Yeah.
like though that's used as like, oh, you on your rags, like why are you grumpy? So it's kind of like not a
yeah.
good one. But
Yeah, I think I didn't hear that before Australia, to be honest.
yeah, well, because like back in the day, you know, women used to have to use
Yeah.
rags, and they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
actually sent away from like towns and things when they had their period, because people thought that they were unclean. So they're off in, you know, off in a mountain somewhere on their rags.
I wouldn't be
Probably
surprised.
having the time of their lives, being
Yeah.
separated from all the rude biatches.
What a wonderful time. And then they'll be visited by elves. And like,
yes.
and so the story goes.
Back to our pros, or are we on the
Yes,
cons now?
My last pro is that it's the only thing you might need for your whole period.
Yes.
My cons, and the biggest reason why, listen, I'm very lazy. I don't know if you know this about me.
Oh yeah.
Hi,
I know where
I'm
this is
Chloe,
going.
and
Yeah.
I'm lazy. They need to be cleaned prior to use. So like you boil them in water for like 5 minutes.
Sterilize. Yeah.
I am so lazy that I'm like, well, I'm just gonna wear pants, because then I clean it after, not before. I'm like, I need it now, and I can't be bothered to wait 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
it's
the thing.
literally 5 minutes out of my day, but that's such a
Yeah.
pro for me. And like, oh, we need to clean it beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things. It's like unloading the dishwasher. You're like, or changing the sheets. I don't want to do it, and then really it takes you 5 minutes.
Yeah, can I
You're
wait?
like,
Like, oh, it made my life so much easier.
Yeah, but I know the feels. I have had that same thought. Like, oh, I just can't be bothered.
Yeah, so I do. I love my period underwear alongside this.
Yes,
And I guess, like I've said before, sometimes it really is quite the battlefield down there. And so I will have a few lines of defense. Like I'll have the cup, because I've tried Juju cup and the Lunette cup, and I don't know what's going on, whether I change size or something, but sometimes one is perfect and sometimes the other is perfect, and they are slightly different sizes. One is softer than the other. Like the Juju cup is way more sort of, it's I think larger and like thicker, like harder, whereas the Juju cup, which is Australia made, by the way, is smaller and very soft.
Yeah, I've got the Lunette, and I actually have 2 of them. I bought one originally, and I remember when I first bought my one, they had a really good guide on how to pick your size. Yeah. And I remember kind of like it took me a while to commit to purchase, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what it is. But looking through all of their information, I was like, okay.
So the size guide helps you pick the right one for you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
awesome.
like I said, I was really lucky with my first use. It seemed great. So then when I bought my second one, I bought the exact same, just a different color, because I was like, my first color choice was probably not the best color choice for a period product, but
just transparent.
It was
because
like,
that's what mine is. Oh, you're not transparent anymore.
It was like a light blue, and I was like, it's a bit. It looks gross, now.
Yes.
But like it's clean. So
I
the next
chose
one I got a hot pink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, much closer to red on the color spectrum. I like it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was thinking, like, because these things can stain. They can be totally clean and still stain. And so my transparent one is like still transparent, but like not quite anymore.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean? Good. We don't have to say it.
No.
So that was my prawn. Needs to be cleaned with boiling water before use. So like if you have just got out of the shower and you're like, oh, it's happening, and you haven't done it yet, we're like, great, I've got 5 minutes of potentially just bleeding all over my house.
Yep.
Or a towel before anything gets done, or like you have to wrap toilet paper around your knickers.
Yeah.
We've been there.
Yeah, we all have.
And the other con is it can be really tricky to change it unless you've got access to like a private toilet that's got a sink, which for a lot of people in school or in an office, unless there's say like a disabled access toilet,
there's
usually
no
there's
basin
not a sink
in the toilet.
Yeah.
I think I've probably only changed mine in like a toilet, I think like twice. I've been pretty lucky. And I think it's just the way that my like schedule lines up is that I have the morning, like I wake up, I have a shower, and then when I get home, it's like a good time because you can leave them in much longer than, you know, the traditional tampon. So I feel like it aligns really well.
Yeah,
I think that
generally
could definitely
you
be a
can
struggle.
go the full day. Like depends, I'm sure, with everyone. Yeah, either my period has personally just calmed down, or I can go like 8 hours of a work day.
Yeah.
Without having to change it, which is actually really great.
Agree.
Well, that's a good pro. Hey, it can take it. It can take a full day. And the disc, I think, is rated to like 12 hours or something ridiculous.
Oof, that's great.
Yeah.
That's literally like 2 changes. A change a day, a change. Yeah. Maths.
Well, I would still probably change it twice. Like
no, but like as
morning,
in
evening,
morning, night. Yeah. Well, I mean, otherwise that'd be 24 hours, so it'd be too long.
Oh yeah, double the time. In fact.
Yes.
Welcome to the maths segment.
Yes, we are very good at maths. I'm sure you've heard us rant about maths in many other episodes.
I did actually maths at some point on this document. Yeah, so I did the maths of I went onto like Chemist Warehouse or something online, and I looked at the price of a 32 pack of regular tampons, and that was $7.50. And the maths on that meant after 213 tampons, you would pay off your cup.
Oh, right. Yes.
Pay off like a $50 cup.
But that's also technically you'd be saving 213 tampons from
very true
waste.
Very
so
true.
You can look at it either way.
Oh, you're going to save way more than that. And I think I tried to estimate what I used to use. And I was like, I probably used like 20 tampons or something per period. And so can I quick maths this? That's like 5, 10. Yeah, 11 periods later, I would have spent the same amount of money. So under a year, and it pays for itself.
Yeah, not only that though too, I feel like when you're using traditional period care products, I feel like you're mixing them. Like I remember if I ever used a tampon, like I'd often wear a liner with it. Or, you know, if I wore a pad, you change them more frequently. So I think you could even be saving more.
Yeah, so true. I didn't even think of that. Like, usually you've got a tampon and then a pad in case it leaks.
Yeah, exactly.
And I went through a period, wow, a phase during my periods where even with the cup, like for some reason there was a leak. Like when I first started using them, it was totally fine. I don't know if maybe I cleaned it wrong or something. But yeah, there would be a leak. So I went through a stage where I felt really nervous again and would therefore use pads or obviously just period underwear. But then changing to the disc, this disc from Hello Period, I think it's called.
Yeah, yep.
I love it. Oh my goodness. I wore it for the first time in the UK and just instantly felt secure.
Well, that's
instantly.
good.
Like I was a stress head thinking, how am I going to like insert it? Because it is like way bigger.
It's big. Yeah.
Way bigger. Like there's a whole new jazzy way to pop it up inside you. But it worked. It just knew where to go. It just fit there and it sat there and it was great. And like it's got a little, I suppose similar to how the cups have like a little tail.
Oh, yep. It's got like a ring pull kind of.
Yeah. It's got a ring pull, and it's got like 2 options of ring pull, and you can kind of fold one inside the other, for example. So it will always sit within you. It won't stick out, so you can fold it if needed. So I think it can either sit higher or lower or whatever. So like one of these will be in the right position. And it just did the exact right thing. And when I took it out, it didn't just like split everywhere the way I thought like a cup might or like anything else.
Gonna ask, how did you find, because I remember seeing the product, like how did you find the removal? You didn't have any troubles with it?
It was honestly fine. Like it acted the same way
as a cup.
The cup did, yeah. So it had a little leaflet of like how to insert it and therefore how you take it out. And as long as you put it in the right way, you can only take it out the right way. Of course, therefore it just kind of stays like a cup. But I didn't know that. And so the first time I did it, I literally just like sat in the bath or like squatted in the bath, like just in case whatever happened. And it all went perfectly fine.
There you go.
It was great.
Yeah, there you go. And that's good.
You know what? Top review. I then went out wearing a white skirt.
What?
I know.
Dang.
The nerve of me. The cheek of me. The audacity of me. Just out there wearing a white skirt. I felt that secure. I was like, I know I can trust this product. Wow. And when you know, like, it's just the best feeling.
That's a 5-star review right there.
I know. Raving, ranting.
Yes.
And they are like $57.
Okay. Similar price.
Yeah. $7 more. The disc can be all yours. Not sponsored in any way.
No. But if you want to sponsor us, you can email us.
Absolutely. So we're almost at the end, but I do want to touch on an awesome company called Suno. It's spelled Tsuno. And like think of the word tsunami, but then Suno.
Sure. Yeah.
They are as close to brilliant and perfect as I've seen like a disposable brand do. So they still do the regular tampons and pads, except they use like the best materials they can. Everything that can be composted, commercially composted can be, basically. And so I think a lot of their liners are compostable. Definitely the pad wrappers are compostable. The tampons are like organically certified cotton, but it's like rules and regulations that they have to be inside specific plastic packaging. And so they couldn't use like
reasons and sanitary reasons.
Yeah. So they couldn't look into like cornstarch packaging or anything for that particular product. But the packaging is always gorgeous. They get like local artists and like really cool artists to design the packaging. And for every single pack that's sold, they send another pack for free to people that need it. And an awesome thing is you can get a subscription as well. So you don't even have to think about buying it.
That's good.
Yes. And that's a really awesome business. I saw the person who made it at a like peppermint pep talk and it's just brilliant. They did want to begin with cups, but they realized, well, people are doing cups and they're doing a pretty great job of it. Let's make this system better for the people that still need it.
Yeah.
I believe they also do still fund cups to be sent to countries where people need them there as well. Because cups, of course, you can keep reusing again and again. Yes. So if someone can use a cup, great. Instead of people literally missing out on school because they don't have period products.
That's so sad.
Yeah, there's such like a lack of education when someone can't get period products. That's a week gone every single month.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, it makes me sad. So I really love and support what Suno is doing. So if you do want to use, I suppose, regular period products, there is a great option for you. TSUNO, suno.com.au.
Get on it. But
Tsunami with an O. Well, that's all from me. I'm going to go ahead and let Michaela talk us out. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Well, I would also like to add on here that I think it would be really fun if we could do a listeners episode. I know I didn't really have any fun stories for my period, but if you guys have any fun stories or horrifying, embarrassing, whatever stories, I think it'd be really awesome if you sent them to us. It could be anonymous, but we could perhaps do a listener episode because I think that would be quite fun.
Let's do it. Yes, normalize it. I love that.
Yes, definitely.
You know what? You reminded me.
Yes.
I would love if people can, if they do listen, I would love if they do a little story and tag us and say what they were up to while they were listening.
Yeah, that too. I like that.
Cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
I would also
connect
like
with you
to
guys.
Yes, please. We would like to know that we have listeners.
On an ego note, please.
Yeah, please. So thank you everyone so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's show, we would love it if you could leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or a star rating on Spotify. You can follow us on Instagram at greengirls.podcast. You can follow Chloe on Instagram at BeKindCoco, and you can follow myself on Instagram at Michaela Hoffman or at RetroKittyVintage. If you'd like to email us to become a sponsor or for any reason whatsoever, you can do this via greengirlspodcast@gmail.com. We also have a Patreon page. You can look that up on Green Girls Podcast and find us. But that is all today. Look out for new episodes every other Wednesday because on Wednesdays we podcast. We hope you enjoyed listening to our ramblings, and until next time, it doesn't matter if you take it slow, it matters that you take a step.
Beautiful.
Oh, I just did a one heart.
Oh, we could try and...
Oh, what? Why do I feel like I'm back in like 2008?
Why is my hand awful? This is not a heart.
Bye.
Does that work?
I don't know. Sort of.
Crap. This isn't a heart.
Oh dear. Bye.
On that note. Bye, everyone.
I'm a tomato again. Bye.